were the seniors, but they all stayed down there. A little herd. And I don't know who's taking the pictures. That was my question to Corey.
There's a woman that came. I think she's like underneath the bleachers.
Yep.
She's in red, and I think she's taking.
Ladies and gentlemen, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Boys Lacrosse Senior Night. Tonight, we'd like to recognize the seniors on both teams for their hard work and dedication to their respective lacrosse programs. First, the seniors on the Merrimack lacrosse program. Midfield, number 2, Connor Lanigan. Midfield, number 1, Nathan Fleming. Long stick midi, number 3, Jake Trahan. Midfield, number 6, Brett Michaelevich. Midfield, number 8, Declan Koval. Defense, attack. Let's try that again. Attack, number 24, Jason Hustler. Defense, number 12, Sean Morilli. Defense, number 33, Dylan Sadowski. Midfield, number 42, Dan Best. They're the Merrimack Lacrosse seniors. Now let's welcome the Bedford seniors. Number 6, Captain Midfield, Max Maniello. Joining him on the field are his parents, Michael and Paula, and sister Victoria. Next year, he'll be attending Siena College to study computer science and play lacrosse. Is there someone taking pictures? Number 9, attack faceoff, Owen Roberto. Joining him on the field are his parents, Leslie and AJ, and brothers Dalton and Tucker. Next year, he'll be attending UNH, majoring in finance. Next up, number 10, defense, Brady Burke. Joining him on the field are his parents, Angela and Brian, and sister Brooke. Next year, he'll be attending Endicott College, majoring in finance. Next up, we have attack captain number 14, Connor Arbusto. Joining him on the field, mother Ann, father TK, and sister Alexis. Next year, he'll be attending Curry College to study elementary education and play lacrosse. Next up, we have long stick midfield, number 26, Captain William Enners. Joining him on the field is his mom, Lisa, dad, Ryan. Next year, he'll be attending the Colorado School of Mines to study quantitative biosciences and engineering. Next up, we have defense captain number 27, Quinlan Kerr. Joining him on the field is his mom, Johanna, dad, Ryan, grandparents Lee and Catherine, brother Tristan. Next year, Quinlan is doing a postgraduate year at Proctor Prep School to pursue playing lacrosse at the collegiate level. Next up, we have attack, Shay Lucantoni, number 31. Joining him on the field, his parents, Dawn and Jason, and sister Madison. Shay plans to attend the University of Tampa to study cybersecurity and criminal justice. Next up, number 38, defense, Ryan Ashburner. Joining him in the field are his parents, Pam and Kevin, brothers Jeff, Brendan, and Mimi Charlotte. Ryan is currently in the process of getting Fire One and EMT license and will be attending the New Hampshire Fire and EMS Academy next year. Seniors, your coaches and teammates, thank you for your dedication and wish you the very best in the future. Congratulations again. Ladies and gentlemen, please join me one last time in celebrating the seniors on both teams. The kids' cybersecurity and criminal justice. Now that's high demand. High School for today's
Music. Music.
good sportsmanship. Cheering is certainly allowed and encouraged, but please be positive with your cheers and respectful to the officials and athletes competing here today. Reminder to all fans in attendance, please keep your masks on the entire time and remain at a social distance from other families. Now let's meet today's starting lineups. First for the visiting Tomahawks of Merrimack High School, starting midfield, a senior, number 2, Connor Lanigan. Starting at long stick midi, a senior, number 3, Jake Trahan. Starting attack, a junior, number 5, Matthew Todd. Starting the goal for Merrimack, a junior, number 10, Alex Griffin. Starting attack, a sophomore, number 17, Kyle Dunn. Starting attack, a senior, number 24, Jason Hustler. Starting defense, a junior, number 29, Connor Williams. Starting defense, a senior, number 33, Dylan Sadowski. Starting midfield, a senior, number 42, Dan Best. And starting defense for Merrimack, a junior, number 88, Camden Wheeler. The head coach for Merrimack is Brian Neal. Now let's meet the starting line for the Bedford High School Bulldogs. Starting midfield, a senior, number 6, Max Maniello. Starting face-off, a senior, number 9, Owen Roberto. Starting defense, a senior, number 10, Brady Burke. Starting attack, a junior, number 11, Evan Schmidt. Starting attack, a senior, number 14, Connor Arbusco. Starting long stick midi, a senior, number 26, William Enners. Starting defense, a senior, number 27, Quinlan Kerr. Starting the goal for Bedford, a junior, number 30, Matthew Desmond. Starting attack, a senior, number 31, Shay Lucantoni. Starting defense for Bedford, a senior, number 38, Ryan Ashburn. The head coach for Bedford is Matt Johansmeyer, assisted by Matt Howe and John Roth. Today's officials are Michael LaFallon and Ari Johnson. Ladies and gentlemen, we ask you now to stand if we honor America with the flag of our national flag.
And hello. Welcome to Bedford High School on this sunny afternoon as we bring you Division I lacrosse action. As the host Bedford Bulldogs welcome the Merrimack Tomahawks. We do have the opening face-off here as it looks like it's going to be controlled by Owen Roberto. Today is senior day for the Bulldogs as they celebrated the lacrosse careers of 8 seniors today for the Bulldogs. Congratulations to those who will be moving on to the college ranks next year. Hopefully some playing. Unsure of the commitments at this point in time, but congratulations to those 8. Max Maniello, number 6, who is driving the ball right now. Righty starts things off and scores as the senior midfielder celebrated just before the game starts the scoring after driving hard right-handed. Other seniors of note, Owen Roberto, the attackman and also face-off specialist. Brady Burke, number 10, long stick midfielder and close defender. Evan Schmidt, he's a junior. Connor Arbusto, senior attackman, number 14. Will Enners, the long stick midfielder we frequently see on the wings as we do on the far side right now. Quinlan Kerr, senior defender, number 27. And Shea Lucantoni, number 31, attack. Also Ryan Ashburner, number 38, the defender. Great day for the seniors and a great way to start as Maniello is able to cash very early on to put the Bulldogs up 1-0. Bulldogs come in at 7-2 with 2 losses, 1 to Pinkerton and 1 to Londonderry this past weekend. The Tomahawks with a 3-4 record entering today's game. Drive righty there. Nice save by Desmond. Kicks it out far. And Enners comes up with that rebound. Dishes to Burke, and he's upfield into transition. They have a break, but they slow it down and wait for their offense to get on the field. Wayward pass there, but Maniello is there for the quick ground ball. I was mentioning the Tomahawks are 3-4 coming in. 3 nice wins, but the losses came 1 against Derryfield, 2 against Londonderry, and 1 from Pinkerton. So we should see a competitive game today. Magnus Steele gets it behind. Lucantoni now. Dodges, rolls away from pressure. Drives lefty and draws a double. Up top now to Kramer. Will Kramer snipes from the outside. Offside shoulder height and finds the back of the cage. Excellent roll back to his right hand for Will Kramer.
Goal by number 22, William Kramer.
And the Bulldogs get out to a quick start here. Junior midfielder with an excellent roll to his strong hand from about 15 yards out and got it to go. Goalie Alex Griffin couldn't catch up with it. So back to the face-off X, and it looked like Roberto might have moved early, so Dan Best will pick that up for Merrimack. He drives lefty. Check there by Roberto, and those two will escort each other off and see some substitutions come in. Now behind to Matt Todd. Back out on the far side to Kyle Dunn. He's checked there by Ryan Ashburner, again the senior. Behind to Todd. Now near side to Jason Hostler. Up top to Connor Lanigan. All the way around. Connor Williams gets a touch. Now Connor Lanigan looks to ISO. Gets to his left hand. Good drive. His bounce shot goes off the pipe. Desmond gets a little bit of help from the orange. Solid ground ball there on the far side by Shea Goodwin. He'll take it behind. Back up top to Lanigan. And now Declan Koval is going to take a run, but he gets stripped there by Will Enners. Excellent job there by the senior long stick midfielder. lift and get that ball on the ground. Now Kerr brings it over. Maniello. He'll step it into the box. And they set up their offense. Bulldogs get it behind. Schmidt back out to Steele. Kramer now. Behind. Now up top. Maniello dips, rips, and finds another goal. Maniello from Arbusto. These shots from the outside are giving some challenges to Alex Griffin there in the cage. These are the types of shots that were not falling for the Bulldogs on Saturday against Londonderry as they ran into a hot goalkeeper. But they found the back of the net 3 times early in the first 4 minutes here of the game, and Bedford jumps out to a 3-0 lead. Timeout here by the Tomahawks.
Bedford goal by number 6, Max Maniello. Assist to number 14, Connor Arbusto.
As I mentioned at the top of the broadcast here, it's a beautiful afternoon here in Bedford, New Hampshire, hovering right above 60 degrees, very light winds. We're able to bring you the broadcast today on BCTV as well as on YouTube on Corey Parker's channel, our athletic director here at Bedford High School. And again, it's senior night, so we do have the numbers of the seniors on the near sideline, left-hand side. You might see that throughout the broadcast in the game. We're going to pan over to it now. Congratulations to those 8 student athletes for solid careers on the lacrosse field. Some balloons and pictures along the fence here to celebrate them as well. And it's good to see that most of them got the start today against the Tomahawks. So we'll head back to the face-off after that third goal. Second by Maniello today. 8 minutes left here in the first quarter. Roberto will check in there at the face-off circle with Dan Best. Roberto is flanked by Josh Beaton and Enners. And Jake Trahan and Connor Lanigan will come in from the wings for the Tomahawks. Solid check there by Enners. And he comes away with the ground ball. They step it into the box and they'll wait for their offensive substitutions as Arbusto comes out to provide a source for an outlet. Bulldogs settle into their offense. Little dish there into the middle. Luke and Tony looking for Arbusto, and that ball's on the ground. Scrapped around a little bit. Dylan Sadowski comes away with that ground ball. Excellent work by Sadowski to come up with that, the senior defender, but he gets checked from behind by Toscano. Sean Toscano seeing time at midfield. Good way to chase it down. Maniello's pass gets batted. And Arbusto comes away with that ground ball. Looking across, found Kramer, finds Schmidt now on the loose ball. Goal line extended, and he gets some garbage, but he'll take it. As Schmidt picked up a wayward pass, Kramer had it in his stick very briefly. It hit the ground, and Schmidt was there for the ground ball and able to bury. Good way to clean up that scrappy play there for the junior attackman. I've done that twice now for Evan Schmidt. But he comes away with the goal and pushes the Bulldog lead to 4-0. Back to the face-off X. This time we'll have Owen Christopher and Enners on the wings for the Bulldogs, and Declan Covell and Rymello Hyde will come in from the wings for the Tomahawks. Roberto comes away with that GB, or ground ball, as we refer to them in lacrosse. They dish to Arbusto, and he will settle as the offensive substitutions come in. Kramer now down to Schmidt. Behind to Lucantoni. Arbusto. Maniello now. The Tomahawks are playing a zone defense here as they pass the ball off from side to side. They're going to need to look for cutters throughout the middle. Tough to keep track of in some cases. They work it around. Maniello up top. Arbusto can't handle it at first. Finds it. Shoots and it goes wide, but Lucantoni has a nice backup. Hustles to the end line and retains possession for the Bulldogs. Schmidt now back up top for Maniello. Toscano then Maniello. Drives righty, a little switch here. Back to Toscano. He feeds Arbusto. Can't get to his favorite left hand, but does get the rebound or ground ball and runs out of pressure. Cut through the middle, and Arbusto is swarmed there by all 4 or 5 close defenders for the Tomahawks, and that ball squirts through. So the Tomahawks get the ground ball as Declan Covell steps near the offensive end, but his pass is wayward, and the Bulldogs will get the ball back. 4:55 left here in the first quarter. With a 4-goal lead for the host Bulldogs. Quick up. Now Schmidt finds himself on the doorstep, and he cashes for his second of the game. Great transition there as the Bulldogs climb the ladder. Got it to Kramer. Kramer to Steele, and Steele drew one and found Schmidt at goal line extended, wide open. Was able to cash on that one-on-one with Alex Griffin. And the score goes to 5-0 with 4:44 left here in the first. So we head back to the face-off X. Bulldogs had some challenges again with Londonderry on some clearing attempts as well as at the face-off X on Saturday. They were tied in that game 4-4, and then Londonderry scored 6 unanswered goals to end that game for a tough loss for the Bulldogs. So they are looking to rebound here this afternoon, and they have certainly gotten out to the start they wanted, as it is 5-0 early here in the game. It looks like the Tomahawks are switching into a man-to-man defense now. They've abandoned their zone. Kramer takes it behind. He is checked there by Dan Best. Kramer gets to his left. Feeds the crease, a little too high, can't handle it. As Lucantoni was there, and we're going to get an off-ball push. And wow, we run off the field on the defensive end as Trahan picks it up. He's got a 4-on-3. He takes a shot and scores. The long stick defender, Jake Trahan, made a heads-up move. Oh, actually, no, not a goal. I'm not sure what happened there. But we restarted, and I'm not sure what the call was. Not quite sure what the call was there, as that ball was in the goal, and it should be counted. It seemed like Matt Desmond was doing his best to pretend that it did not go in the goal, but it certainly looked like it was a goal from here. Yeah, it is a goal, as we could see from up here. And it looked like Matt Desmond was doing his best to take that ball right out of the net and keep playing. But we saw the net move. We saw the ball in the goal, and it is now confirmed by the officials as a goal. And again, that was an excellent heads-up play by Trahan as he, the long stick midfielder picked up the ball, sprinted right up the field. The Bedford midfielders all ran off the field. They forgot about their defensive responsibilities first and gave up a 4-on-3 fast break. Trahan saw some time and space, pulled the trigger, and was able to find the low left corner behind Desmond. So 3:42 left here in the first. 5-1 Bedford. We head back to the face-off X. We have Joe Michael in there on the face-off for the Bulldogs, and he scoops up that ground ball. Good work for him. Gets it low left to Luke and Tony. Shea, Luke, and Tony. Maniello will settle and wait for his offensive midfield counterparts. Kramer now to Steele. Back to Kramer. And again, the Tomahawks have moved into a man-to-man situation instead of the zone that they started out in. They're going to pressure a little bit more behind. Extend out a little bit, see if they can make the Bulldogs a little uncomfortable in their offensive set here. Schmidt from behind. Drives lefty. Checked there by Connor Williams. Back up top. Cutting steal. Nice snipe. Tough one to catch up to there by Griffin as Steele came off the pick. Was ready to turn and fire one and found the left side of the cage for his first goal of the game. So steal from Kramer, and the Bulldogs get that goal right back and regain their 5-goal lead, 6-1. It was a good curl by Steele as he came off that pick, was able to rub shoulders. Couldn't quite see who was providing that pick, but Steele came right off of it, and excellent catch and shoot as he rolled towards the cage. Magnus Steele has been an offensive contributor all season long. Ground ball now looks to be scooped by Enners. He runs away from pressure. Backhand scoop to Desmond, and they'll set up their clear. Again, they had a little pressure and challenge on Saturday with their clear, but Desmond finds cutting Toscano. Steps it into the box, looks to threaten, but decides to settle. Now Luke and Tony drives lefty, draws a double, fires it across to Schmidt. That goes off his stick. Maniello picks up the ground ball and will draw a trip penalty as he quickly got that into his stick, and a wayward check by Connor Williams is going to send him to the penalty box. Toscano now finds a cutter. Schmidt on the doorstep, and he scores. Schmidt with a quick hat trick here. Assist to Sean Toscano as he rolled away and found an open and cutting Schmidt, who finishes on the doorstep.
Bedford goal by number 11, Evan Schmidt. Assist to number 1, Sean Toscano.
So that penalty is wiped out, or maybe it's not. Thought it was going to be only a 30-second trip, but it does look like Connor Williams is taking a knee on that far side, so we are going to have a odd man face-off. So when there is a penalty, the penalized team is no longer able to bring an offensive player up onto the wing. They need to keep 2 players in the midfield. That is a rule change about maybe 5 or 6 years ago. Used to be able to bring an attackman up onto the wing to provide an even kind of set during a face-off, but it is irrelevant here as Roberto clamps and rakes to himself and gets possession for the Bulldogs, and they go on the first extra man opportunity of the game. So they get into their set, 2-3-1. They'll work it around the outside. Probably look for some cutters here the next time around. Schmidt cuts to the middle. Kramer draws, Maniello. He gets some time and space. His shot looked to get hung up in his stick and goes incredibly high, about 30 feet above the cage. It looked good if it was a field goal kick from the 30, but that doesn't count too much here in lacrosse. Maniello back up top, finds Greer. Derek Greer is now checked into the game, behind to Schmidt. They bounce Arbusto off. They look for Maniello cutting across the top. Nothing there. Toscano takes a shot that goes off the pipe. And we're going to get a push from behind on the ground ball, but Schmidt gets possession, so it will not get blown dead. And the time on the penalty has expired, so we're back to 6-on-6, even strength lacrosse. Kramer now across the top, gets some space. Good save there by Griffin. Got a stick on it, deflected it high and behind. And Greer is there for the backup. They need to go quick, and time is going to expire here in the first quarter. So a strong start for the Bulldogs as they take a 7-1 lead after one. The teams will look to make some adjustments. The Tomahawks, again, switched from their zone defense early as they were letting up a few too many shots from the outside, a few too many cuts inside, and the Bulldogs were taking advantage. So they jump into their huddles. They'll switch sides here for the second quarter. Another 12 minutes on the clock. They will resume with a face-off. Occasionally you'll see possession awarded if there is a dead ball issue, a penalty of sorts, or if there is a current penalty and either team has possession at the end of a quarter, they do retain possession into the next quarter. But in this case, there was 6-on-6 lacrosse, and no penalties, and therefore we will see a face-off. Coaches in their huddles again, talking about any kinds of adjustments. The scoring for the Bulldogs did slow down as the Tomahawks jumped into their man-to-man defense. As they put a little more pressure on the Bulldogs, they were extending out, getting their sticks in their gloves, making the Bulldogs think twice about their throwing and catching instead of just being able to spin it around the outside. But even with that pressure, the Bulldogs did look pretty comfortable. Solid athletes and solid stick skills on both sides of the ball here today. And we get ready for the face-off to start the second quarter. Roberto will be flanked by Joe Michael and Will Enners. Best will be flanked by Declan Covell and Jake Trahan, who has the lone Merrimack goal. And we start the second quarter. Ground ball goes towards Enners. He can't quite get it there. Scooped up by Trahan. He makes a few dodges. And finally gets it to Declan Covell. He will settle. I believe he already stepped it into the box. Yes, he did. Looks to go there on Michael, but pulls it out. Dishes now to Petz, Stephen Petz. Down to Hostler. Back up top, now Covell. It's like a 1-4-1 set for the Tomahawks. So one up top, four across the middle part of their offensive set, and one behind. Isolation play here for Covell. He draws a quick double. They dish it down, find Kyle Dunn. That ball gets booted around there a little bit and will go to Bedford as it went off of Kyle Dunn's foot or leg. Ashburner gets it over to Desmond. They take their time on the clear. They do have 20 seconds from the time of possession to get over half field. which seems like a long time, but it quickly evaporates. Now Quinlan Kerr gets it over half field, and he has 10 seconds now to step it into the offensive box, which is at the 30. He finds Lucantoni. Lucantoni across quick. Can't get it to go. Kerr looked like he wanted to snipe, but got checked from behind by Trahan. Ground ball's picked up by Wheeler. And that ball sails out of bounds, as you heard a couple of chuckles from the fans in the stands. Had it in his stick briefly, but sailed it into the woods. And the Bulldogs get possession again. Toscano looks to go. Drops the ball. Lucantoni is able to scoop it behind. Checked there by Hyde. Toscano gets into the mix. Arbusto gets the stick on the ball on that clearing pass. And the Bulldogs get again. Excellent ride there by the Bulldogs as they get the ball back. Rymello Hyde did a nice job of actually getting the ball in the scrum behind the cage, but his clearing pass was tipped. And the eventual ground ball goes back to the Bulldogs. Behind now to Lucantoni. Now Greer. Checked by Wheeler. Now Lucantoni. Gets to his left hand. Save there by Griffin as Lucantoni got high side, pulled lefty. Couldn't get it to go. Griffin now looks near side. Finds Dylan Sadowski. Excellent pass into the middle by Sadowski to Shea Goodwin. Now Goodwin gets it deep to Kyle Dunn. He'll take it behind. 7-1, just under 9 minutes to go in the first half. The Bulldogs hold the lead as they've led nearly from the outset as they got an early goal. Excellent takeaway check there by Ashburner. A bit of a save me check as he was beat, but he did get the trail check. And now Kerr finds Maniello, who will leg it out. Turns on the burners. Had numbers there if he wanted to go, but decided to settle it down. Beaten now to Kramer. They substitute out, and Steele will come on. Now Maniello takes it behind, gets high side, looks to feed as he's drawing the double. He'll take the shot. It won't go, but Greer's there for the backup. So the left-handed Greer will bring it in from the far sideline. He's checked by Camden Wheeler. Now Arbusto gets it back to Maniello. 3-3 set here for the Bulldogs. They get it to Steele. They clear out. Looks like they might want to play a little two-man game, but no. Steele takes a tour of the defensive end, finds cutting Lucantoni. His shot won't go. Chased out. And good hustle there by Wheeler, but Greer is just a step closer, so he does get possession back for the Bulldogs. Greer turns on the Jets, gets a step and a check. Looked like it was to his head, but they'll let it go, and Wheeler does well to pick up the ground ball, gets it to Hyde, up quickly to Goodwin. Goodwin turns on the Jets, gets it into the offensive end, but loses control of the ball. Scooped up nicely there by Ashburner. He rolls away from pressure. Back to Desmond. And now far side for Brady Burke. Back to Desmond. They look to clear now. It's an off ride, so Merrimack is making the Bulldogs come to them. Desmond, midfielder. Kramer along the far sideline. And he dishes to Maniello, so they'll wait for offensive substitutes. Maniello now to Toscano. He looks to ISO. but draws the long stick midfielder, who is Trahan. Trahan gets a nice slap check. Ball gets on the ground, but Kramer's there for the GB. Kramer rolls back to his right, takes an extra step, pings it off the crossbar. Excellent pull there. Doesn't go, as Griffin gets a little help from the orange this time. But a heads-up play by Quinlan Kerr as he batted that ball back into the offensive end. It was a shot. And now Maniello's pass to Toscano is away. Again, another heads-up play by the Bedford Bulldogs defense as Burke slaps that ball back into the offensive end. They get it behind to Lucantoni. Lucantoni to a cutting Toscano. Pulls it out. Behind now to Greer. Greer up top. Toscano gets to his left, now back to his right. Greer feeds low, and his pass is too low to Arbusto, and that will go out on the end line. So a patient offense there for the Bulldogs is not rewarded. A wayward pass goes out of bounds behind, and the Tomahawks will clear as Griffin talks to his defense. Trahan gets the ball now. Goes to his left, cuts back to the right, gets it over midfield, runs into a double team, and then dishes off to Connor Lanigan. They step it into the box. Trahan is off, and Best comes on. Near side now to Jackson Forbes. Forbes drives lefty. He gets checked. That ball comes up, and Burke, out on the run, avoids the check there. Avoids the second one. Dishes back on a nice little backhand shovel pass to Arbusto. I thought he might pull the trigger there, but he didn't. And found Arbusto as he dodged one or two players there on the break. But they will take a patient approach. Maniello puts his gloves back on. Fakes left, drives right. Good body defense there by Trahan. Forces the pass behind, and that's too tall for Lucantoni. So we'll go back to the Tomahawks as they look to clear. Hyde up top. He finds Jackson Forbes. Forbes steps it in. Sends it behind to Dunn. Now to Todd, right behind. Drives righty. Checked out. And Burke comes up with the ground ball. Now, good effort there by Todd. Just left his stick hanging out there. Kerr got an excellent check, and Burke pulled up the ground ball. Into the offensive end. Greer will take it behind. Exchange at X with Lucantoni. All the way up top to Maniello. He sets up. He's checked there by Declan Covell. Toscano now. He might have that entire right side if he wants to drive. There it goes. Good physical defense. He finds Greer from behind, and his shot won't go up top. Looked like Griffin might have taken it off the face there, but we'll get credit for that save. Clearing pass can't be handled by Dylan Sadowski, so that ride is effective. And the Bulldogs will get the ball back. 2:20 to go here, 7-1. Scoring has definitely slowed down, but the Bulldog offense has definitely taken a more deliberate approach here in the second quarter. Steele gets to his right hand. His shot won't go. Backed up by Arbusto. And we get to the 2-minute mark here with the first half remaining. Arbusto spins back to his left. Gets high. Looks to roll back. Lefty, little scoop pass, looking for a cut in the middle, and that is too low. Excellent defense there by Sadowski as he played nice physical defense. That clearing pass almost picked off by Kramer, but finds the stick for Koval. Koval draws one. They get it behind to Todd. That's a nice looking break right there. Hostler chooses not to shoot, but they did the right thing. Work it around the outside, get it behind, and look for cutters from the midfielder area. It wasn't there, so they chose to eat it. And now with 1:27 left, the Tomahawks will take a timeout, see if they can get an offensive possession. They've been spending a lot of time in the defensive end. And although the Bulldogs haven't been scoring on every single possession, those long possessions get tiring for the Merrimack defense. They chase the ball around. Their heads are constantly on a swivel. Their feet are moving. So it is quite tiring as you're spending all that time on defense. So a well-advised timeout by Merrimack with 1:27 left here in the first half. Shadows are starting to extend out onto the field. We'll see that throughout the rest of the game. Guessing in the later stages we might see the late lights come on, although it is not very cloudy here today. Quite pleasant. Light jacket here and there. Got some shorts in the stands. A lot of New Englanders are willing the warm weather to come. Seen a few days in the 70s every once in a while, but it's mostly been in the high 50s and 60s for the last couple of weeks. And we're ready for the sun to shine. We know some fans have tuned in from all over the East Coast here. Relatives from New England area, as well as extended family from all other parts of the country. Some parents in Florida too, as the Tomahawks get back on the possession here. They've likely drawn up a play. Lanigan, checked by Beaton. Now Michael. Beaton comes back up top for Petz. Petz spins back to his left hand, shoots. And that is saved by Desmond. Bouncer, and Desmond smothered it. Just under a minute to go here. Kerr finds Michael. Michael will press. He gets an odd man, gets it to Greer. Greer riser, can't get it to go. And that's backed up by Luke and Tony as he was closest where and when the ball went out of bounds. Luke and Tony will restart. 40 seconds to go. Maniello looks at the clock and is likely going to try to run out this first half, but he shoots lefty, can't get it to go. Greer's there for the backup. 30 seconds to go. Arbusto gets it now. He comes behind, and he's checked there by a short stick, Shea Goodwin. It's good ISO for the senior attacker. Gets to his left hand. Chooses not to shoot. Across the field, near side to Maniello. Now behind. You get it back to Greer. Greer feeds. That shot there does not go as Zach Griffin was into the game and couldn't get that final shot to go. But we will end the first half with a 7-1 lead for the Bedford Bulldogs. We'll take a timeout for about 10 minutes and rejoin you for the second half. Before we do that, a quick scoring summary as Evan Schmidt led the way in the first quarter with 3 goals. Max Maniello chipped in 2, and then 1 each by Will Kramer and Magnus Steele rounds out the scoring for the Bulldogs. The Tomahawks' lone goal came from Jake Trahan, the long stick midfielder, with that heads-up play on the restart. So we do enter the half at a 7-1 lead for the Bulldogs. Teams will look to make their adjustments, and we will rejoin you for second half action here. This is Corey Munster-Tiger with BCTV, and we'll be right back. And we're back here for second half action for the Division I lacrosse Bedford Bulldogs as they host the Merrimack Tomahawks. The Bulldogs took a 7-1 lead into halftime. Again, scoring for the Bulldogs, Evan Schmidt had a hat trick in the first quarter. Max Maniello had 2 goals of his own. Will Kramer scored 1, and Magnus Steele scored the 7th. For the Merrimack Tomahawks, Jake Trahan has the lone tally, and our score is 7-1. Again, congratulations to all of the seniors for both programs. Tonight was senior night for the Bulldogs. Again, Max Maniello, senior midfielder. Owen Roberto, senior attack and face-off specialist. Brady Burke, senior long stick midfielder. Connor Arbusto, senior attack. Will Enners, senior long stick midfielder. Quinlan Kerr, senior defender. Shea Lucantoni, senior attack. And Ryan Ashburner, senior defender. Congratulations to all of them on solid careers and the best as they move into the future. We are back to the face-off as Roberto takes on Best for the Tomahawks. It gets to Connor Lanigan. He looks to get that ground ball. It's still getting kicked around on the ground over there. Michael had it in his stick for a split second. It does pop to, looks like, Roberto there. He had possession, but it looked like he might have stepped out of bounds as the official was right there and called for the Tomahawks to take possession. And they do, as Brian Mikelowicz scoops it down to Kyle Dunn. Declan Covell up top now for the Tomahawks. Covell looks for cutters. Joe Michael has him. Scoops it to Hostler. Hostler drives hard. Doesn't quite get the edge and gets double teamed. That ball comes out and McGee picks it up for the Bulldogs. Andrew McGee wheels into the offensive area. Luke and Tony now will settle. Tough pass there, though, as the ball went right in the sun. That was a tough one. Luke and Tony seemed like a harmless pass, but it went right in the sun, and Arbusto couldn't track it, which brings up an issue for Desmond potentially as they shoot from the top right, in this case right here, where Dylan Sadowski is. That's going to be a tough shot to see for Desmond at this point in time. Again, right here where Shea Goodwin is. Top right of the goalie. You can see the shadows are cast directly towards the goalie, and that makes it difficult to pick up off the stick. Up top now to Steve Petz. Goes to his right hand, checked by Maniello. Back up top now to Forbes. They spin it to Goodwin. Oh, they had it right there. Matt Todd bounced off a pick. They had the right angle. His pass now gets batted by Enners. Ground ball fought for. And Enners comes away with it. Gets back to Desmond. Desmond looks for a cutting Maniello. And they are up and out. A little behind the back move there by Maniello. Gets to his left. Steps it into the offensive end. And they will regroup. Evan Schmidt, far side, back right of the goalie. And now Kramer. Kramer drives righty. Pulls. Good save there by Griffin. Tipped it high and above the net, but Luke and Tony is there for backup. He steps in from the end line. Some coaching from the far side. Luke and Tony gets to his left. One-on-one with the goalie. His shot's wide, though. Too far right. He pulled it near side, was going for that offside hip shot, but it does go just a little bit too wide. The Bulldogs are spread out now. Schmidt to Arbusto. Fires it behind to Kramer. Kramer with an ISO. He's checked by Forbes. Gets to his right hand. Gets high side. pings it off the pipe. Griffin's lucky there that it doesn't go in, but he got some help from the orange again. And a good ground ball by Sadowski. They get it up to the middle to Michaelevich. Now side, Todd. Back up top to Hostler. Covell waits and looks for Best. Dan Best with the ball now. Beaton guarding him for the Bulldogs. Now back to Covell. Covell drives righty. Gets it behind to Dunn. Dunn finds a cutter in the middle and Cash. Shea Goodwin. Excellent cut by Goodwin down to his right hand. Turned and finished far side. So Goodwin gets the Tomahawks back in the scoring column. 7:57 left here in the third quarter, and it's 7-2.
Assistant number 17,
Great look there by Dunn as he was settling in, looking for cutters, and Goodwin popped off at the right time. Made a tough catch in traffic and finished far side. So back to the face-off X. Ball pops out. Michael is there for the rebound. He steps it into the box and looks for his teammates from the substitution box. He stepped it into the offensive box, which again is inside the 30-yard line. You can see the dotted blue lines. Up top, Maniello. Left hand pulls, bounces off a defender. Looked like it went off of Dan Best as he absorbed that shot. Scramble for the ground ball. They fight, and Magnus Steele comes away with it. Good hustle by the Bulldogs to keep possession. Luke and Tony sneaks in from the backside, and they find him. Long pass there, looked like by Kramer. And he found Luke and Tony kind of sneaking in behind his defender. Caught it lefty and cashed. And the Bulldogs go up 8-2.
assistant number 22, Wayne Kramer.
So sneaky little play there by Luke and Tony as he got behind his defender. And at that point, once Kramer saw him and delivered the pass, it was all up to Luke and Tony to catch and finish with that one-on-one, and he was able to do it. Roberto now comes away with the face-off. He legs it into the offensive box, gives it to Schmidt. Back up top to Kramer. Maniello now will take a tour. Takes it deep into the near side corner. The goalie's back left. Looks to ISO on Connor Lanigan. Goes to the far side. The double looks like it wants to come by Trahan. And that ball finally gets checked out. But Maniello is there for the ground ball. Loose ball situation. And now Sadowski comes away with it as he made a great takeaway check. Ball came out of his stick, and now it does come out of Sadowski's stick as well. Hustle play by Kramer. Got the check that loosened the ball. And now Kramer is in trouble on the far sideline. He rolls away from pressure. Great composure by Kramer to take a few checks, roll away from pressure, and find some relief by Steele. Toscano now will take a tour. He takes it behind. He's guarded by Petz. Working on some ISO game from behind. He drives righty. Looks backside to Luke and Tony. Can't quite make the connection. And the Tomahawks will get possession. Dan Best steps it in. He legs it into the offensive area. Tough pass as he squeezes it into traffic. Kerr comes away with that ground ball. Up quick to Arbusto. Arbusto's going to press and then decides not to. Steal now. Nobody there. Best is there ready to defend, but no slides were apparent. And Steele decides to pull it out. Up top with Maniello now. Drives right, looks backside, finds Toscano. Steele back to Toscano, drives righty, dodges one, ball comes out, and Schmidt comes away with the ground ball. That ball ping-ponged around there in the middle. They find Arbusto in the middle. He can't squeeze it. Picks up the ground ball. Scoop shot right into the stick for Griffin. He held solid and made the save. Otherwise, it was going in. Schmidt now harassing Wheeler. And that's a great ride by Evan Schmidt as he was chasing Wheeler. Checks on the hands and on the stick. And that ball goes out of bounds. Just under 4 to play here in the third quarter. 8-2 lead for the Bulldogs. And again, with this 6-goal lead, the Bulldogs have taken a more deliberate approach, working the ball around, making sure they're getting their passes in, working on their offensive sets. Steele now snipes, and that is a save by Griffin. Picked up in the middle by Michaelevich. He finds Best. Best into the midfield, and they have a break. 4-on-3 here. Down low to Dunn. Dunn looks to shoot, and that's eaten by Kerr. And Michael's there to back it up on the outside, so that was still considered a shot. Kerr ate the shot. It rolled out of bounds, and Michael was there when and where it went out. He was closest. Desmond now on the clear. The junior goalie finds Burke, and now they find Michael in midfield. Michael spins to his left. He'll shoot. A little high and outside, but Schmidt backs it up. We sometimes refer to that as a possession shot. Might as well take it. Snipe for a corner. If it doesn't go, you back it up. Up top now for Zach Griffin. Maniello rolls to his left, draws a double. Kramer in the middle. He gets checked there. Excellent check by Sadowski, but they can't come up with the ground ball as Greer swoops in for the Bulldogs. Maniello back to his left, and that pass is too tall as Griffin was there, but it was too high. Picked up by Goodwin. One of the 2 goals for the Tomahawks by Goodwin. The other by Trahan, who just received that pass. Covell now steps it in. Enters, comes out aggressively, and makes an excellent slap check to get the ball on the ground. Beaton comes away with the ground ball. It pops out of his stick, but Enters is there for that ground ball, and he'll take it into the offensive end. He scoops it up. He finds Kuliza into the middle. That ball gets patted away. Kuliza looked like he might have a cutter from behind, who was Schmidt, but looked into the middle. Turned head there, almost led to a real big collision, but they were able to recover. Ball does come out. They get it to Ashburner. Now back to Desmond. Burke on the near side. He finds Michael cutting through the midfield. Michael cuts, steps it into the box, and down to Greer. Minute to go here in the third quarter. 8-2 lead for the Bulldogs. They wait for their substitutions, offensive and defensive. Greer behind. Kuliza now. Gets the goal line extended, dishes high. Kramer now to Toscano. Back to Maniello. He looks to go one-on-one against Trahan. His shot is high and wide. Backed up behind by Derek Kuliza. Way up top, Kramer to Toscano. He gets to his right hand. Can't pull the trigger as the ball pops out just before he was ready to shoot. Still on the ground. Toscano gets back to the ball, scoops it across the field. Can't quite make the connection with Kuliza. 10 seconds to go now. Kramer looks backside, finds Kuliza one-on-one with the goalie, and he hits the pipe. Great composure by Kuliza to make a fake. He had Griffin beat, and as he came back on the wraparound, he hits the far side pipe. So it stays 8-2 heading into the fourth quarter. After that near first goal by Derek Kuliza there as we closed out the third quarter. For any listeners in the Bedford area, the Bedford PTG is running a raffle at this point in time. A $10 donation per entry allows you to win a BHS parking space for the 2021-2022 school year. The winners will be drawn and announced on June 4th. They are selling tickets here on the Bedford High School campus today. That doesn't really help you at home, so you can find more information in the principal notes from today, May 6th, for purchasing some of those raffle entries. So if you have a high school student heading into next year, to 2021-2022 school year, you might be able to get a parking spot for them with this raffle. I believe there are 2 parking spots available for that raffle. So find more information in the principal notes, and good luck if you enter. Also want to thank all of the Bedford Bulldogs Athletic Booster Club generous sponsors, including Spectrum Marketing, the Bedford Village Inn, or BVI, Layer Beishaman Realty Partners, Liberty Hill Construction, New Hampshire Athletic Fundraising, Coldwell Banker, Pizza Bella, Rebecca Spires Real Estate, Friends of Girls Basketball, and Gear Up Bedford, all generous sponsors. For any further information, please check out bbabc.net if you're interested in becoming an Athletic Booster Club sponsor. All that goes directly to the Athletic Booster Club and provides generous funds for the sports teams. We'll head back to the face-off circle as we get ready for the fourth quarter action. 12 minutes back on the scoreboard. Again, an 8-2 lead for the Bulldogs. They bounced out to a quick lead in this game, less than a minute into the game, and have held a sizable lead throughout the rest of the game. Roberto and Best scrap for that ground ball. Enters, comes away to the far sideline. He scoops it back to Beaton. And Roberto eventually comes away with that ground ball. And the Bulldogs will take a timeout. They got possession and wanted to talk things over as we head into the fourth quarter. Probably set up a lengthy offensive possession here. See if they can get into some of their sets, possibly take the ball behind as they've looked to ISO some of their short stick midfield, some of the Tomahawks short stick midfielders behind. Again, that's an advantageous play for the midfielders or any attackmen that get matched up on a short stick. The ball will be to the top and right of the goalie. Again, the sun and the glare and the angle of the sun is becoming a challenge to the top right of the goalies on our left side as we look at the field. Shadows are getting longer. Sun is getting lower in the sky, and it becomes more and more of an issue for those goalies from that certain position. They break their huddles now. And Will Kramer will pick up the ball. Looks like a 3-1-2 set here. They'll rotate around from here. Maybe a pinch 2-2. Magnus Steele gets it behind. And it's a 1-3-2, so a little bit of a different set. One midfielder up top, three across, and two attackmen behind. Arbusto and Greer exchanged behind. They look to play a little two-man game. They get it back to Arbusto. He drives lefty. He has Steele up top, but rolls back to his right. Fires, and that's going to be backed up by the Tomahawks. Great hustle play there by Wheeler. The junior defender is able to get to the sideline where the ball went out. Get possession for the Tomahawks. Little dodge there by Best. Another roll dodge. Sees a double team. Gets it up to Trahan. Crafty little play there to get it to himself. Slap the ground ball to himself. And now Enners comes out heavy with checks on Michaelevich. Bats the ball. Excellent play. And we have a timeout just before that play. Wow. Timing on that timeout was exceptional, as just before the pass was initiated by Michaelevich and Enners batted it right out of the air and got the ball, the timeout was called. So the far side official heard it very clearly at the right time, and the Tomahawks will keep possession. 10:39 left here in the game. Comfortable lead for the Bulldogs. If the Tomahawks can pop one or two in here, they might be able to make it a little interesting down the stretch. As we know in lacrosse, goals can come quite quickly. The tide can turn quite quickly. And that might be initiated from a play right here with 10:39 left. Bulldogs defense has not really been tested in consistent time throughout the game. They've had a couple of defensive sets here and there, but the time of possession has been predominantly in favor of the Bulldogs. And Enners comes out now as Covell will pick it up for the Tomahawks. Late substitution here by the Bulldogs as Beaton runs onto the field. He'll match with Goodwin. Looks like a little pick and roll action here as Enners looks to slap. They get it behind. Kyle Dunn. Switches to his right hand, finds a cutter. Pet's there. He's harassed by Michael. Pet's back over near side to Dunn, and that pass is low and will bounce out of bounds. So Ashburner will pick it up for the Bulldogs. Up quick to Parker Henrishon, who has checked in. That ball gets checked out of his stick, and Beaton had a chance there, but couldn't quite corral that ground ball. Does go out of bounds off of Henrishon. And Petz will bring it into the offensive area for the Tomahawks. So Goodwin, a little shake and bake up top, drops the ball, gets his own ground ball. He's matched up on Beaton. Beaton pushes. Goodwin takes the shot. Excellent save there by Desmond. That was a tough one. A bouncer in an awkward position. Got Desmond down on the ground, but he springs back up for the bounce. And that was a special save there. Burke walks the dog. Gets checked there a second time. Slaps the ground ball ahead. He finds Kaliza with that And Kaliza's shot goes off the leg of Wheeler, who then grabs the ground ball as it came back right of the goalie. Excellent ground ball there by Arbusto as it was batted around near the 30. He looked into the middle for Greer, couldn't quite connect. And now it comes back to Arbusto, and they're making some substitutions. They yell out yellow from the sideline. Yellow meaning yellow light. Let's pause, slow down here a little bit. Let's get our substitutions on the field. You'll hear that frequently in a change of possession. Get onto the offensive end, and coaches and assistant coaches and teammates will yell yellow. Let's slow it down. Arbusto is not in yellow at this point. They have their team on the field. He gets to his left hand. It won't go. Shot is far and wide, but Greer is there for the backup. Greer steps it in from the end line. Up top to Kramer. Kramer looks to ISO. He goes hard on Goodwin and snipes the far side. Drove hard righty, shot back lefty, and that's a tough save as the goalie's weight is moving towards his left. That ball comes back to his right-hand side. And Kramer gets his second of the day. Excellent snipe from the junior midfielder. So 9-2 Bedford, just over 8 minutes to go. We head back to the face-off circle with Roberto and Best about to crouch. Now they get down and set. We'll see the whistle or hear the whistle. Raked out towards Enners. Can't get it. Still on the ground. Fought for there, and Best comes away with the GB. He finds Dunn. Ashburner goes out heavy on Dunn, meaning he was playing aggressive defense, trying to make a takeaway check, get that ball on the ground. Beaton does the same now with Forbes. Back up top to Lanigan. Lanigan looks to ISO, drives righty, draws the double. Good backup there by Enners as he came on the double team. Ashburner there chasing Dunn. Now they switch off. Burke, slap check. Now behind to Hostler. Hostler drives left. He got the edge. Excellent save by Desmond. He's had a great game back there in goal. Couple of tough saves on drives. High bouncers. Solid outlet pass there, but Beaton can't quite pick it up. And his scoop attempt goes out of bounds. So the Tomahawks will pick it up. But again, Desmond has had a couple of solid saves that has maintained this margin. Good hustle on the ride, but Forbes is able to slip by. Dunn now. Drives lefty. Up top. Looked like that might have been a Sun issue as the ball went off Covell's stick. And now Best. He ISOs on Beaton. Quick slide there by Maniello. Beaton recovers and finds another. And comes out on Forbes now. Forbes lefty. Dishes. His ball goes on the ground, and an exceptional ground ball by Maniello. He's out on the break. Kuliza back now for, look like, yeah, it was Arbusto. And they hustle on the ride here. And they do get possession back. So they couldn't make the possession on the fast break, but now they see Lucantoni in the middle and saved by Griffin on that pull. Andrew McGee comes up with the ground ball now. Gets it to Zach Griffin. Griffin now dropped briefly by Arbusto, and now Wheeler comes away with the ground ball. He settles. They'll set up their clear, and they get it Griffin, who will walk it out and look for open teammates. Wheeler now right up to the middle to Best. Quick little dodge, and he's out. But he makes a pass and is picked off by Maniello. Maniello will pull, and Griffin had it there for the save, but it does trickle off of his stick, and Maniello will score his third of the game. So Maniello makes the pick here in his defensive end, right about the 45-yard line on the clearing attempt, and takes it all the way to the house. 10-2. The Bulldogs are up 8 with just over 5 minutes to go. So again, that's Max Maniello's third of the day. Evan Schmidt also has 3 goals. Will Kramer with 2, Luke and Tony with 1, Magnus Steele with 1. For the Tomahawks, Trahan and Goodwin are the goal scorers. We go back to the faceoff X at midfield. Roberto scrapping now with Nathan Fleming. A little scrap at midfield, and there's an infraction on the Bulldogs. Kerr there checking Hostler. He gets it up top to Lanigan now. Lanigan to Dunn. Dunn checked by Ashburner on his hands. Lanigan now. He gets it across to Goodwin. Goodwin shakes. Shot there by Lanigan. Goes off a defender. It looked like it hit Nick Hadley in the middle. And Kerr comes away with that ground ball. Ooh, chased down behind. He didn't see the long stick midfielder Trahan coming in from the substitution box, but makes a nice face dodge to get out of trouble. Kicks it behind to Luke and Tony, who fires it back up top now to Maniello. He gets it to Griffin coming in from the sideline. Griffin behind to Luke and Tony. Looked like a sun glare issue there. Luke and Tony rolls. Gets to his left hand. Shot is checked there by Wheeler as he made a nice defensive play. Now Hyde picks up the ground ball. He rolls away from pressure. Checked nicely there by Kramer, but that ball rolls harmlessly into Griffin's stick. And Wheeler looks back to Hyde. Hyde deep now, and his pass is picked off by Kerr. Kerr settles. Dodges. Gets to his left hand, but that left-handed pass goes high and will go out of bounds despite excellent hustle by Maniello. A little slappy in the midfield here within the last minute or so. Goodwin looks for Trahan. Trahan gets the ball now. Fires deep. Finds Dunn. Dunn shoots wide. Won't go. Crampton picks it up, though. Shot there, and a rebound by Hostler, and both shots, one at first is eaten by the defender, and the second goes wide right, but Dunn backs it up. Now behind to Crampton. Crampton to Hostler again. That's eaten again, this time by Beaton. Those are not shots that tickle, I'll tell you that. Dunn gets the shot off. That won't go, and Desmond backs it up. Again, when these players have time and space, they can get that ball going pretty fast, 60, 70, sometimes 80 miles an hour at the high school level. So if that solid rubber ball hits you as a defender or a midfielder, it does not tickle. Desmond with the outlet pass finds Maniello on the near side 50-yard line. He will trot it in. Just over 2 minutes to go here in the game. Maniello waits for Steele and Griffin. Griffin now goes one-on-one. Draws the double. Great double team there by Sadowski. Got the ball on the ground. Little backhander flip to his teammate. Michaelevich, and he comes away with it. They have numbers. Pass quickly down, and that can't make the connection as he had Matt Todd there ready and waiting. And Todd is able to back it up quickly. Wasn't quite a shot, so I'm not quite sure why Blue got the ball there, but excellent check there by Henryshan, getting the ball on the ground again. Now it looks like Enners will come away with that ground ball. Rolls away from pressure. Steps away. Just over a minute to go here. Enners to Ashburner. He's going to get double teamed quickly. Ashburner looks up, finds Maniello, who drifted away from Goodwin. Maniello low to Kuliza. Excellent feed. Found Kuliza sneaking in behind his defender. Again, similar to what we saw earlier tonight or this afternoon from Shea Lucantoni. Just kind of stepped in behind the defender. Maniello saw him, and Kuliza cashed on a low shot.
Effective goal by number 15, Derek Kuliza. Assist to number 6, Max Maniello.
That goal comes with just under a minute left, extends the lead out to 9 goals, 11-2 Bedford. This is all but in the books here this afternoon for the Bulldogs as they'll extend their record to 8-2. These two teams will face off again, I believe, on Saturday. This time in Merrimack down the road, 5 or 6 miles away. Covell gets possession. His pass a little wayward, but Trahan does well to keep control of it. They step it into the box. Crampton now looks to get rid of it. He finds Lanigan up top. Lanigan looks to go now on Nick Hadley. Draws a double team. Back up top to Todd. Now to Lanigan. He finds a cutter in the middle, but that pass can't connect. Henryshan comes away with the ground ball. He looks upfield to Maniello. It won't go. 5 seconds left here, and that'll just about do it. And there's the final horn as the Bulldogs take an 11-2 victory. Appreciate everybody joining us this afternoon here on BCTV and YouTube. The Bulldogs come away victorious, 11-2. Quick scoring summary for everybody at home. Max Maniello with 3, Evan Schmidt with 3, Will Kramer with 2, Derek Kuliza with 1, Shea Lucantoni for 1, and Magnus Steele had 1. On the Merrimack Tomahawk side, Jake Trahan had 1, and Shea Goodwin with 1. That rounds out the scoring for both teams. We want to congratulate again the seniors for both teams. As it was senior night, we mentioned their names a few different times. We'll join you next time here on BCTV and Corey Parker's YouTube channel. Thank you very much to the BCTV crew. Caleb Harrington on camera today. And the entire crew back in the studio. We'll join you next time. I'm signing off. This is Corey Munster Tiger. Have a good evening.